My name is Gasia, Mikaelian. I'm an anchor and reporter at KTVU Fox 2 News in San Francisco. Today we're talking about how the COVID-19 pandemic is affecting small businesses particularly, and how there is still some financial help out there for them. Let's welcome to the conversation Katheryn Petralia. You're the co-founder of Kabbage, Kabbage with a K. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
You say that loans are still available for small businesses. How does one go about applying for one?
Well, there are limited financial services providers who are offering loans. If you want to come to Kabbage, you can go to kabbagewithak.com and upload your documents, complete the application, and normally we're able to complete that process with a 24-hour turnaround.
What kind of loans, dollar figures are we talking?
Well, our median loan amount is $13,500, which is much smaller than what you might have heard. So 60% of our customers have been independent contractors or sole proprietors. We really understand how to automate the process of these processing of these loans, but we've served businesses with also who receive millions of dollars worth of loans.
I talked with a small business owner, a chocolatier. He owns owned a small shop up in the wine country here at the very beginning of the pandemic. And the loan program had just started. And I said, what do you need most? He said, I need money and I need it now. How much is speed a factor in determining whether or not a business makes it?
I think speed is important, but I think there's a lot that goes into speed. Some of it is just understanding what is the documentation that you need for what are you eligible? What is used to go into that calculation that determines for how much you are eligible as a business. And I think that's the thing where there's a lot of confusion. People don't understand, do they qualify? How do they qualify? What documentation do they need? And that's what we try to make easier for these businesses and also to make it fast. Part of the challenge with a slow process is that the business owner is spending a lot of time following up. Where is my loan? What's happening in the process? I've talked to so many business owners who said, well, I just couldn't get a response from my bank. So I came to you because they were investing so much time.
And tell me about some of those documents that people have to find, some of those hurdles that people have to jump through in applying for a loan.
For businesses that have payroll, where they're paying their employees through W-2, it's actually really simple. They need some articles of organization that demonstrate that their business exists. We need a W-3, which is a consolidation of the W-2 payroll that they've paid to their employees. And then often, but not required, a 940, and then identification information. So we need a copy of a driver's license or passport. That's for those who have employees. For independent contractors and sole props, most often we're seeing a 1040C combined with identification documents. And that's it. It's that easy. Our system is able to automatically evaluate and verify the documents, extract the necessary data, make the calculation, and submit the loan application to the SBA.
And do you hear back from these business owners once they get at least some of the help they're asking for, and have they described how it's changed their lives and their business?
We have heard a lot of that. Actually, I have a note at my desk that it was handwritten from someone who was a customer who was so grateful that we were able to process their loan because they couldn't get a response from their bank. And that happens every day, all the time. We're so excited and grateful to be able to serve these small businesses who really need the money.
What's heartbreaking is that we all know that a small business takes seemingly forever, but certainly years and years to build up. And we are seeing these businesses just, kind of go bust in a matter of weeks. Are you talking with people who say, I had to let this business go, but I want to get back into it once things calm down? Or are you hearing mainly from people who say, I can't go through that emotionally or financially again?
American entrepreneurs are very resilient. Almost every business owner I've talked to who has decided to close a business, some of them own more than one, and they'll pick one business, that they shut down in order to focus on another. But even those who shut down their only business, they're very resilient. I think you're going to see a ton of new business starts once we've gotten over the hump of this pandemic. And I think we're going to see more new businesses than ever serving customers in different ways that we might not have imagined before this all happened.
There's also a word that's come into our lexicon the word pivot. I have seen small businesses here in my hometown and across the country say, we used to only do X, but now we're doing Y, Z, and A. How important is that flexibility when it comes to keeping your small business alive?
I I think it's incredibly important. Kabbage, we are a small business also. And so we had never even heard or processed an SBA loan. We'd heard of an SBA loan, but we never processed one before. I didn't know what a W-3 was, or a 940 or a 1040C. And now I can look at your documents and help you understand what you need. So I think that ability to expand your view is really important. You can call it a pivot, or you can simply call it an expansion of the business you were already operating. So you can serve new customers in different ways. That is incredibly important. And again, getting back to the American entrepreneur, that is what we're really good at. We're really good at figuring out how to grow and change and be successful, even in really challenging times.
How long has Kabbage been around?
My co-founder, Rob, and I sat at a Starbucks in November of 2008 with like a napkin. So that's effectively how long we've been around.
So November of 2008 was at the very beginning of the Great Recession. And I remember it like it was yesterday. I just had my first child, and I remember, people are being laid off, people are losing their homes. People are thinking, wow, things will never be the same again. Then up until 6 months ago, this economy was booming. What do you say to people who feel like they will not be able to survive this pandemic financially or business-wise?
We will get through this too. We will all protect each other. We will figure it out. I think you're seeing it play out now, whether it's the increased unemployment benefits that we had for the last several months, whether it's programs like the PPP or the Main Street Lending Program. We are going to be here for each other, and we're going to continue to be. So we made it through the recession. We made it through multiple wars. We made it through the Great Depression. We made it through the Spanish flu. We're going to make it through this.
I like what you have to say. Katheryn, for people who maybe have never heard of Kabbage before but are interested by what you have to say and might need to apply for a loan, how do we find you online?
www.kabbagewithak.com.
Okay, got it. Katheryn Petralia, co-founder of Kabbage. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Of course.